Hi, this is Clarence with Stones and Bones. Today we're going to talk about Fatwood. Fatwood goes by a lot of different names. I'm from the South, and in the South we call it Fatwood. Fat lightered or lightered. In the North I hear it called pitch pine or just pitch quite a bit. The first question is, what is Fatwood? Fatwood is the heart of a pine tree that was flooded with sap. Either the tree was injured or it was dying. At any rate, that sap over time turned into resin, and that resin is what makes Fatwood such a valuable fire starting tool. Here I've got a piece of Fatwood that's not processed down, and what I mean by that is we cut our Fatwood into bundles, into slabs, and into Fatwood dust. This is just a piece that was taken off of the block, and there's some resin in this wood that's waterproof as well as flammable. This piece in particular I just leave outside beside my fire pit, and in all the weather, all the rain, water doesn't matter, and this is what I use to light my fires at home. And what I do is I take my knife and I just create little curls of Fatwood, and those little curls will end up lighting. But like I say, even if this is wet, it doesn't matter, because inside, as soon as you cut it, you're into dry material. A little bit later, we're going to start an actual fire using the Fatwood. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about the different ways that Stones and Bones sells their Fatwood. The first way is we have a bundle, approximately 6-inch little sticks, in a bundle that's wrapped in jute twine. The jute twine we use in the fire making process because you can peel those fibers apart and it'll catch a spark directly from your ferro rod fire starter. With Fatwood you don't have to take that step. It'll usually light on its own, but it certainly does make it easier to use the jute twine in your fire making process. Another way is we have these slabs that are roughly about 3/4 of an inch square and about 6 to 7 inches long. They have a lanyard that you can lash this to your pack, clip it to your belt, or however you want to carry it. And you can do the same thing that I was doing with the piece of stick here and just shave fine shavings, or you can take the belly of your blade and rub it back and forth to make sawdust, or you can just cut little strips of it off to use for your fire. Any of those methods work. And the final way we sell Fatwood is in a tinder box, and it's Fatwood sawdust. And you just simply take a pinch of the sawdust and put it wherever you intend to build a fire, and then you spark it directly using your ferro rod to get your ignition. You can find all of these products and our fire starters. We have the antler handle combo with the built-in whistle. We have whistles, wood handle fire starters. All of these products can be found at www.stonesandbonesonline.com. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you guys me actually building a fire in my fire pit. But since I've got the material here, let's just see if we can get it to spark. I'm going to use my knife and a ferro rod, and the reason I do that, all of our ferro rods come with a striker, and it throws an adequate amount of spark every time. But to get even more spark, anything that's sharper and removes more material will give you more spark. That's why I prefer to use a knife, and I've just gotten used to doing that. But let's see what happens. We're taking a piece of Fatwood and we're just making thin little curls. Just work it with a sharp knife. Then you take those little curls, set them in a pile where you're ready to make your fire. Alright, then you got your pile of Fatwood shavings down. Take your ferro rod fire starter. I'm going to use a knife just because I get more spark that way. And just like that, we have fire. And then we just start adding material to our fire to get it going.